Hadi, Vice Chair of the Coalition of Racialized Workers in the Ontario Public Service Employee Union. Please join me in welcoming Ala.
Brothers, sisters, friends, and comrades, we stand here today to mark 1 year of heroic resistance for our people, our Palestinian people in Gaza. Our Palestinian people in Gaza are standing strong against an ongoing brutal genocide that has now extended to Lebanon and to the West Bank. Over 43,000 people have been murdered, 100,000 injured, tens of thousands have been displaced and affected in Palestine. In Lebanon, over 2,000 people have been murdered and thousands have been injured. And now people are being murdered in Syria and Yemen. Shame! Shame! This brutality is inflicted on our people by the colonial state of Israel. The story did not start 1 year ago, not 76 years ago. Started 106 years ago with the British occupation of Palestine that incubated the Zionist colonization of Palestine. It has been 106 years of ethnic cleansing, occupation, colonization, forceful deportation, apartheid, oppression, and racism against our Palestinian people. I grew up in the land of Palestine in the first Intifada. My father and my mother were uprooted from Palestine in 1948. My father and my mother are 11 years older than the colonial state of Israel. Colonization works the same way everywhere on three pillars: dehumanize the colonized, blame the victim, and collective punishment. This is the same way this settler replacement colonialism. Our issue is the same issue as the First Nations of this country. The original owners of this country that we call Canada are the First Nations. The Palestinian cause is a cause for all oppressed people in the world. It has become a symbol of freedom. The Israeli apartheid system is similar to the former South African apartheid system, just is much more brutal. That's why the great Nelson Mandela said, "We all know too well that our freedom is not complete without the freedom of the Palestinian." Mind you that the United States and Canada considered Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress terrorists for a long time. Shame! The apartheid regime in South Africa did not end when Malin, Verwoerd, Botha were gone. It crumbled because it was more costly for the South African apartheid regime to maintain it than dismantle it. It started with unions, with labor unions, with grassroots associations, and students all over the world to start the sanctions, then government followed. That's why we say, just like the SACTU movement of South Africa, we need to boycott, divest, and sanction from Israel. Boycott, divest, sanction now!
Sanction now!
Now!
Boycott, divest, sanction now!
This call has been made in 2005 by more than 170 Palestinian trade unions, all political parties, NGOs, civil organizations, refugee rights association, and others. Throughout this last year, there has been many large unions in Canada, such as QP, PSAC, UPSU, and many others that passed PDS decisions, and that didn't come from an empty, hollow place. It came from our activism, and even others have blistered previous resolutions. My fellow workers and friends, we cannot stop now. We must push every organization that took a PDS decision to implement it. And for those who haven't, we need them to have a PDS resolution. My comrades, my friends, my fellow workers, unions stand for social justice, human rights, dismantling racism, and not just for worker rights. This is a marathon until Palestine is free. This is not a sprint. Boycott, divest, sanction now. Unfortunately, we see that many organizations here still fund the genocide and they're genocide apologists, including this government here. And to them, where is your moral compass? Or do you even have a moral compass? Boycott, divest, sanction now. This world that we live in, unfortunately, has sunk to a new law. When we see the UN allowing a war criminal to speak to the United Nations while he's giving genocide orders. This is happening right now, and yesterday, Israeli airplanes bombed hospitals in Lebanon the same way they did in Gaza. Kids in Khan Yunis, in Jabalia, and Deir al-Balah when they were screaming for their parents and siblings who were murdered. Where did they go? Shame. Shame. But, my friends, you have the power to do something. Collectively, we can change. We can organize. Organize in your union. Organize in your workplace. Run for a position. Step up, challenge the status quo, just as Sarah Jama did. Woo! Write letters, email to your representatives. They're gonna come soon asking for your vote. Also, my friends, we must fight anti-Palestinian racism. Whenever you see anti-Palestinian racism, report it, make a complaint, take action. A few months ago, when someone made a disparaging comment about my kufiya, I said, "This is my traditional scarf. I wear it. My father wore it.
That's right.
My grandfather wore it.
That's right.
My great-grandfather wore it before a single day." You want to take inspiration? We take inspiration from the people of Gaza, who their stance and resolute has embodied the words of the great Palestinian poet Tawfiq Zayyad, who said, وقفت بوجه ظلامي يتيما عاريا حافي. I stood in the face of my oppressor, an orphan, naked and barefoot. In our millions, repeat after me. In our millions. In our millions. In our millions. In our millions. In our unions. In our unions. We are all Palestinians. We are all Palestinians. In our millions. In our millions. In our millions. In our unions. In our unions. We are all Palestinians. We are all Palestinians. From total island to Palestine. Colonization is a crime. Colonization is a crime. One more time. From total island to Palestine. From total island to Palestine. Colonization is a crime. Colonization is a crime.